going to attempt to speak about karma because it comes up in, any yogic or Buddhist path that you're on. It comes up in that often. And it can be confusing to think, like in the West, we often use it like it's oh, karma's going to get you kind of thing. And so I'm listening to Robert Thurman, Tenzin Robert Thurman, in my 300-hour yoga teacher training. And he explained it today in a way that a light bulb went off, but I'm going to see if I can reconnect with that bulb. Because conceptually, I understand it inside of me, but then being able to put it into words, sometimes it's not that great. So the way that he explained it today was our karma is, it's basically being caught up in all of our delusions and desires and aversions and judgments lifetime after lifetime. So then that creates the karma. And then same thing in this life, right? When we fall into the addictions, desires, the delusion, the judgment, the aversion, that we're not making choices from wisdom, right? When we begin to make choices from wisdom, then our karma, the cycle diminishes. It's not as strong. It's not as, it's not rolling quite as hard. So yeah, it's that. It's really just boils down to the addiction, the affliction, right? The afflictions that we have: addiction, aversion, like it's the desiring. It's diving into every single desire that we have, which can be unhealthy for us, like including the ones that are unhealthy. When we stop doing that, when we have our practices and we connect with our wisdom part of us, the things that we learn in these different philosophies like yoga and Buddhism, when we go within and we begin to uncover and develop our wisdom nature, our compassion nature, then there's a little more spaciousness around the things that cause us harm, so we don't dive into those things that cause us harm and then stay on that wheel, right, that just leads us to the next thing and the next thing, leaving us feeling bad, in situations that we don't like, wondering why this happened to me. And I think that that's on a scale from very subtle to huge, maybe some things that we don't even understand. And then the more that we tap into our wisdom and we begin to choose even the simple things like picking up trash when we see it on the ground instead of walking by, right? It's not turning a blind eye toward anything. Then I say this often in the yoga teacher training, instead of being on a roller coaster, which is kind of like karma, we can just be on the people mover, right? If you've ever been to some amusement parks, that they have this little train that just goes through the whole park, and you get to look at everything nice and slow, and so you're witnessing. And then Josh actually brought up a great metaphor for our lives as well that relates to this. Is it's very easy for us as humans to get caught up in our emotions, in the things that are happening in our lives, to be like really in it instead of like pulling back and witnessing and being aware of our emotions and breathing and connecting with our peace and acting from that place. He said that it's like watching a movie, right? Imagine you're in a big, beautiful movie theater. You're watching like an intense action movie. But then all of a sudden you're a character in that movie. Imagine like some sci-fi action movie and all of a sudden you're the character participating in all the craziness of the movie. When in reality, you just have to pull back and recognize that you're in the seat, you're watching the movie, right? And it's been likened to by Ram Dass as the projection, which is the movie, and the projector, the actual lens. Pull back and become the lens and develop the ability to witness yourself in these situations, right? You're witnessing, you're breathing, you're feeling the sensations in the body. So you still move through the feelings. We don't push anything away, but we're not totally ravished by these challenging experiences, right? And then there's the spaciousness that gives us the ability to see and choose different, so that we're not just jumping right back on the roller coaster, right? Anyway, hopefully that helps. Let me know.